Welcome back to M Hood Fishing. Full effect here. Hair blowing in the wind. It's going to be that kind of a day. I'm on Elmer's Isle with Ray from Rig PFA. It's just windy out here. Very windy. 15, but feels like 20. Why am I in these conditions? I'm expecting two things, but probably gonna go home with whiting for sure. The two things are shrimp. I've got reports coming in that last night a shrimper was out here getting Gulf shrimp tight to the beach. Yeah, because this is the day after the full moon and the wind is strong out of the south. So, you know I might be coming home with whiting. You know I'm expecting shrimp, but what's the other thing? Because there's two main things I want to look for. Pompano. Pompano big enough to eat. Come on, let's get the hat back on. At first, we're going to look for minimal shots facing the wind. So this is what I'm mostly going to do first, right? Pompano rig, fish bites. I'm ready to do other things, but I'm not willing to wade in what is behind me. 2 to 3 feet, and they're coming in fast. That's not the kind of water I want to go wading in. It just will bash me around and just not worth it at the moment. The great thing about pompano is that they're not going to be too far out. They're going to be right here in the surf, so I don't have to go out too far, and I don't have to cast too far. There's Ray from Rig PFA. Starting out with 2 ounces of lead, that should be fine, but we can go up to 3 if we need. Please don't be a hard head. Ah. Yes, my second fish up here is a sand mullet, whiting. Yeah, you're right. Food. Ah, there we go. Something's on. Hard to tell, but that is a hit. It's probably there. Yep. Yeah, we're eating tonight. I don't know what this is. Maybe a fish with a bunch of sargassum on it. Oh, it's 2 hardheads. Number 3. Little rat red. All right, next stop, the kitchen. Everything is late, brethren. Everything's on ice. Some things are broken. Some things are where they should be. Things yesterday took longer than you know. There was more going on after the sand mullet. We went looking for flounder. When I got home late in the evening, but still before sunset, proceedings became disturbed by a Texas family emergency. One of them was missing. There was not much I could do, but I could sleep, and I needed sleep. Sunset was coming.
So I went to sleep. I woke up very early to be able to remotely run an opt to locate missing subject. The word on that remote opt is success. Missing person found. So I'm going to use the smaller one for bait. Big up to Billy for helping out with that opt this morning. I really appreciate it. So yeah, here in Louisiana, a lot of people are going to call these sand mullet, but yes, they are whiting, and yes, they are a bait fish, but they're also one of the best tasting bait fish. And sometimes conditions are just so bad that this is actually what you should expect to catch, and you should not be down about it because they are quite tasty. Let's have these two for lunch. This is like the easiest way to fillet a fish. I'm not going to bother with the scales. I just did an incision with the spine right here. Boom, one side of the spine, come down to the rib cage. You feel the blade, click, click, click on each rib. You know you're there. It gives you an idea of where to do this. Plunging that blade, cutting along the spine. And then some people, depending on what blade you're using, might go ahead and cut through the ribs or just cut along them. I'm just going to cut along them after I do this along the gill plate. Sometimes you don't even need to cut. You can gently do this. Yeah, these ribs, they're very easy to cut through. I've cut through maybe one, it feels. You can feel it right here. Boom, 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 sticking to my thumb. Easy to get out. You could either slice it out or pull it out by grabbing it like this, or tweezers or needle nose. There's one right there. Definitely don't want those rib bones left in the fillet when I'm cooking. As always, I'm going to take the fillet off the skin by laying it flat down here at the tail. See, I have a little bit right here. I'm gonna put my fingers on that. I'm gonna come in with the blade. Now the blade is flat, not touching the counter. Just gently come along. Oh, I rode up a little bit. You do not want to ride up. There we go. Did I mess it up? No, I had a nice save right there when I corrected my mistake. Yeah, you're right. I have a little bit of bone left. I decided I would use the knife to take that out. It's pretty easy. See where it is. Come along it. And there we go. We're just going to go ahead and do that. And here we are, my 4 fillets, nicely rinsed. So I'm going to use one of my favorite seasoning mixes. If you don't like things super hot or you want something different, by all means, do what you like. But at this point, this is what I'm doing. This is Caribbean jerk seasoning. It'll make it tasty and spicy. Put some heat in there, right? Yeah, you know me, I'm going to add heat. But at this point, we're just going to dust it. And then flip it and dust the other side. Stick it in the fridge because I have prep to do. First things, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Green, red, bell pepper. Next thing, a bit of garlic. Whoa, it was almost on the floor. As much as you like. Or if you don't, none at all. Next is about half an onion. Sometimes onions look weird sometimes. Yeah, big old jalapeno. Because I'm certified crazy, not really, but we're gonna leave the seeds in. A lot of people think that's crazy. The seeds have a lot of heat, so if you take the seeds out and you cook this jalapeno that I'm cutting up, It's not going to be as hot, especially not as hot as if you took a bite of it right now. But if you leave the seeds in, you'll retain a lot of the heat. That is if you want to retain the heat, and I do want to retain the heat as much as possible anyway. Here we have a cold pan that is destined to not be cold here very soon. It will be hot. This oil is going to be hot right there with that pan. We're going to put that in there now, just a bit. That's good right there. Extra virgin olive oil. Should have done it, could have done it earlier, but I forgot. So, an inch square, something like that is what I want. Using my scissors, handy dandy kitchen scissors. Here's some purple cabbage. You don't need to acquire this. It's not required. I'm going to have it for garnish. Also, one thing I must add, raw cabbage or a little bit of any cabbage with hot food, if the food is way too hot for you, if you have some cabbage along with it, along the side or on top, that will tame the heat. So you take a bite of the food, it's real, the heat is too much for you, and then like maybe if you have some coleslaw or something, take a bite of that cabbage, and that will save you from bursting into flames. The heat is a little bit above medium, and yes, vegetables are first for what I'm doing. We want them to cook down, saute down just a little bit. We want them to go soft, basically. Shrink. That's what happens when they go soft. They shrink. At first, they took over, right? They dominated. So now they are shrinking, giving us room for the other things that are coming. One of the good things about living in Louisiana, when you accidentally burn a little bit of your food, you can just call it Cajun and nobody will get upset at you. So yeah, we went a little too far, but not really. It's exactly, excuse me, exactly where I want it. Let me tell you, every time I do this sort of thing with peppers, roasting them like that, it opens my sinuses. So I turned down the heat, moved everything to the side. The hottest part of this pan is where I just put the fish. There we go. I'm trying to shake the pan, but the camera is shaking too from side to side. Gently get things kind of mixed together. Fish is going white, that's what I'm looking for. Alright, I'm gonna drop the heat down. Shoot! Dang it. Excuse me. Drop the heat down a little bit. We'll go ahead and cover it. You're going to need a can of frijoles colorados, better known as red kidney beans. This is my favorite. Goya, this one right here, but you can use whatever. Looks like the fish is almost done. I'm not going to add the whole can, maybe about half or so. A little bit of the juice, not all the juice at all. I think that will do me. Instead of using a utensil such as the wooden spatula, I'm going to mix things around like this. Now I'm going to cover it back up and lower the heat, let it simmer for a little bit, not too long. Remember, those beans are already cooked, they just need a short amount of time at simmering. Okay, so we're going to check it out, and I'm going to show you something. See the size of this bean? Let's come over into the light. This is why Goya red beans are my favorite canned bean. It's like $2 a can, but look at the size of that. Tasty, tasty, tasty. Almost there. So you totally could put this over rice. However, I'm going to dump it all right into this Jeffro bowl and have it by itself as it comes, as it is. Little cherry tomatoes on the side. There you have it, fully dressed. The food and myself. Excellent, excellent. I'm gonna take one more bite. Maybe another, maybe three, I don't know. Wow. I'm definitely gonna take more bites. But before I take more bites, hey, you gotta try it. Come on. Yeah, you're right. Thanks for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, being a member of the channel, and I will see you next time.